Hey, Kinfolk, Brian here with the Bearded Axe, and today's episode is a challenge video. Medieval Mayhem called me out and he challenged me to build a flagpole. So I've got my Beco Guild flag and I'm going to put that on there. And so here are the rules real quick. One, it cannot cost more than $20. And in material, total everything from like finishes, materials, nails, screws, string, whatever. It cannot cost more than $20. The flag itself is separate. We're just making the flagpole. Two, it cannot take more than 10 hours total to build. And three, what is three? Oh yeah, it has to be 8 feet long. It has to be 8 feet long. And so the 8-foot rule I came up with because I wanted to be able to fit up just about any vehicle. It's borrowing like a scooter or a motorcycle. I think it'll fit in most compact cars. So that's the challenge. And I think I came up with a really good solution that's cheap, fast, and easy for everybody else to build. So I think you guys are going to really like this because a flag will really spice up camp or the battlefield. And I just wanted to put this picture in your mind. Just imagine you're on the battlefield and there's like 50 flags all lined up on one side of the line and 50 flags on the other side of the line, and just are blowing in the wind. And it just would look so epic. And you just imagine a fight practice where you're at a local park and you plant your flag and everybody else is planting their flag around the battlefield or the arena or something like that. It would really just add a lot of spice and a lot of really great flavor to your LARP. And I would highly encourage you to jump on this build. And if you do join in on this challenge, post a picture on my Facebook page or reply via the Instagram and tag the Bearded Axe and put it as the flagpole challenge. So let's get started. Well, yeah, I'm very awkward on screen. Let's get started, okay? Bye. All right, so first part is getting the materials and making sure those materials are under $20. I've got this 8-foot, 2-inch by 2-inch furring strip. Little square piece. This is treated so you can keep this on the ground and it's not going to rot on you. It's really durable and strong, so where you can really put some pressure on it and it's not going to break off on you very easily. And these cost about $4. And I'm getting 2 of these. I only really need the one, but I had another option that I wanted to add to this. That's a really cool option where it helps me drive it into the ground much more easily and quickly. It's just I can put it in the ground on the spot wherever we're at, and it'd be a lot easier that way. So the other thing I got is a 3/4 poplar dowel. I had this in stock, but these are roughly $2 or $3. Really, they're not that expensive. They're really cheap, and this is going to be very useful for holding my flag. And I've got a 3/8-inch dowel, oak dowel that I also had in stock. These are also a few bucks, so really none of this stuff should cost you over $20. Total materials. You're also going to need some wood glue for one part of this build, and that shouldn't cost you more than a few dollars. If you have Elmer's glue, that'll work as well. Just regular old school glue. That works just as good as the wood glue stuff. It might not be as waterproof, but most glues will hold up under a rainy weekend or what have you, and still maintain their hold on the wood. So all of that should cost you less than $20. Total, I think if I got here and got all this stuff, it would come up to about $18. And that's not going to break the bank. That's going to be more than enough. And of course your area might be different and your mileage may vary. Tools. You're going to need a drill. And you're going to need some drill bits. Now you're going to need 2 different types of drill bits. You're going to need regular drill bits and you're going to need speed bore drill bits, right? Speed bore or spade bits, because a regular set of drill bits are going to have a 3/4 bit, and this is going to be a lot easier to drill than a 3/4 bit that's regular. Anyway, you're going to need a saw. So I've got a pull saw and I got a push saw. I'm going to use the pull saw, but essentially you guys could be able to find or get access to a regular saw, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that. And you're going to need a scraper. Now this is an essential, this is for an extra piece that I wanted to be able to drive into the ground, and this is going to help me clear off some chips and some bits. But yeah, get yourself a little 5-in-1 scraper. A lot of these things are really easy to get your hands on, and I would highly encourage you to just go out there and beg, borrow, or deal, try and get these tools for this build. So yeah, and a tape measure. Tape measure is real cheap, $1, whatever, but you can also borrow this from a friend. And so yeah, that's basically all the tools in a nutshell. So let's get started, shall we? First things first, we're going to measure 3 inches in and try and get the center of that furring strip there. So 3 inches in, and then let's try and get this. All right, I think it's right there, so make sure you get the right one, because I'll make several marks to make sure. So now that we have our marks, let's drill our hole. Bring your piece over the edge of the table wherever you're working, so that way you're not putting holes in your table. You guys might have a kitchen table or a countertop. I don't want you guys putting holes in your stuff. So put it over the edge, and that should do you. So when you do this, so make sure you're level. You're not going anywhere. You're not, you know, you want a nice straight hole. All right, now that I poked through the bottom, I want to, now I haven't completely because I just have a tiny little hole, and that's going to pilot for the other side. Otherwise, it's going to be a pain in the ass. Excuse me, pain in the butt. Okay, so the next step is I need to cut the length of this. So you can just estimate on this. So I could, you know, this is probably going to stick out that much on the flag or on the pole itself. Maybe a little bit more here. So right about there. Take your pencil, make your mark, and get to cutting. All right, got our pieces cut. Now let's drill some holes in it. We're just gonna measure in, I don't know, 3/4 inches down on each end and drill a hole. Now I want to flip it over, do the other side. Now we just want to get 2 3-inch pieces for our retaining pin. So this is the 3/8 inch dowel that I had. And again, shouldn't cost you more than a few dollars for this little, you know, we just don't need much at all. This is where the pole saw really shines. For little itty bitty stuff like this, you get a much better cut, a lot more accurate. I really like it. We got to taper the ends just a little bit to where they fit in the holes we just drilled. So I got a little razor knife. Cobalt makes this. I always recommend this one because it has a seatbelt cutter right there. So if you have it on you and you're in a car accident and you need to get out and your seatbelt's not coming undone, seatbelt cutter. Good thing to have. And razor knives are just generally very useful. So yeah, it's real easy. Just like that. Not much, just enough to, you know, easy, goes in easy, and make sure you do that for each end. A good way to do this is just pull. Now, so the other furring strip that we got, we want to cut about 1 foot off of this. So here we go. Just put it in that little device and cut it off. This would be so much faster with power tools. All right, I got it. We're gonna mark the center of that, so it should be just 6 inches. Now I'm marking it near the corner, and you're gonna see why in a little bit. Now we want to mark 1 foot up from the bottom of the longer piece, the 8-foot piece, the actual flagpole. Okay. Now we want to measure the center of that. And we're going to line up those two lines. Okay, so now that you have the width of the piece that you just cut placed on here, you want to measure on the side here about halfway down. And we're going to be doing what they call a lap joint. And so yeah, about halfway. It couldn't hurt to just go a little bit lower. You'll see why in a little bit. So here we go. Now you have to do that for both sides. So you're not, once you get the line there, you gotta go to the other side too. You have to do that for both pieces. It's a bit tedious, but I use the fine teeth for this one here. Oh, went a little too far. That's fine. So once I got it cut, I'm just gonna kind of freehand it. All right, now we just want to make a bunch of more cuts. We're gonna just cut here, cut here. We're gonna make a bunch of cuts, just like these ones. They don't have to be nearly as straight though. So. All right, now that we got our little hole or lines cut, we're gonna break them off. That's where your 5-in-1's gonna come in. Now and again, if you don't want to do this step, you don't need to do this. But this is definitely, I think, is a really nice option to where it's practically essential. Just like that. Your trusty rusty razor knife. That'll definitely get in there and level it out. That looks pretty dark. So now I want to do the same thing for this other piece here. If you didn't want to cut to depth or measure the depth on this one, you save yourself a step by just popping it in there and marking that line right there. So for this cross piece here, there you have it. You have your depth. So let's just do the same exact thing that we did before. So I'll be right back after that. All right, we got our little cross piece done, looking just like the actual flagpole. So let's see how it fits. Well, that's nice and snug. That's really good. Let's take that back out, put some glue in there, and we'll see what we can do after that. So put them on all the faces. Man, that's a good joint right there. That glue should hold it, but I'm going to put a screw in there just in case. There we go, that's what I want to bury it a little bit. Okay, now sharpen the end here, because that's going to go into the ground. I want it as sharp as I can get it. You know, not super sharp, but you know, you get the idea. If you had an axe, this go by a lot easier. It's almost there. I'm going to add one more option where it's going to look more like a pole instead of just a square stick. So I got this little jig. I just took a couple of scrap pieces of plywood and put them onto the bench, screwed it right in, and keeps it from going anywhere. And I'm going to add a chamfer on all the corners. So here we go. You want to sand off any rough spots, you know, kind of smooth it out. I use like 80 grit. Sandpaper is super cheap, shouldn't cost you that much. Beg, borrow, whatever you need to make, whatever deal you want to make just to get this stuff. And you can do all of this with a knife, but it would take a very long time and I don't feel like doing it. So I'm going to use some little cheats here. Okay, so we're running out of daylight and we're almost there. So we just got to put it together and see if it all works, and then we can do any kind of finishing touches after that. So we got these. It's good. Stop fighting me. Might have chosen a different dowel, but it's what I had. I'd probably go with oak next time. Just a little bit more resilient, and it's less likely to get loose on me. Here we go. Put this one on the end. Let's take her outside. All right, so sun is setting fast, so let's get this thing in the ground and see how well it works. That's in there pretty good. All right, it's pretty sturdy. All right, Ken folks, so that's basically it. That's my challenge. I would like to do a bit more. I would like to maybe stylize it, maybe cut a few things off here and there. So yeah, let's try something. I think it just needs a little something, a little touch. So if we do the put some string around the this cross piece to hide that that screw hole, and again at the very top where the little dowel goes through, I think that would add a really nice little detail. So I've got some jute string. I'm gonna wrap it around, and I think we'll be done with this build. And we're only 4 hours in, doing really well. All right, so I just got about 6 feet of this, so just an arm's breadth of jute string, and just tie it on here. So just a square knot would do. If you don't want it slipping, a little extra here for when we want to end the knot. 1, 2 wraps, and that'll kind of help seize that sucker in there, and it ain't going nowhere. All right, so we're gonna go diagonally here. I'm gonna go diagonally on the back side, wrap around once, diagonally this way. So now that you have a good pattern, it looks pretty decent. Let's tie it off with that little bit that we left before. We could spot glue this to keep it in place, and yeah, I think that would that'll do. It looks kind of cool. Hey Ken folks, so it's been 4 days later, finally got a day off. It's Thanksgiving Day, and build's pretty much done. I really haven't done anything since that last, the last shot that you saw, and I'm just gonna shoot the outro of this video and drive this on the ground, and so here we go. No! Freaking snapped on me, bastards. That just happened. That bottom piece just busted off. Just being a little too hard on it. I was trying to get it out and just wobbling it back and forth, and I weakened it and broke it off. You can kind of see right where it had broken, right where we had cut it, and the glue just didn't want to hold as well as I'd like it to. So yeah, but it still can hold on its own. As you can see, it's just no longer 8 feet long. I can just get another pole and redo this whole process, and I'm pretty sure it'll hold. I might not put this cross piece on again because I just put too much stress and it weakened it a little too much. But yeah, so hey, if you guys like this video, hit the like, sub, share, all that good stuff. And leave a comment if you guys have any questions or if you need any help with any of these builds. So that's basically this build, and I really enjoyed it. I think you guys will enjoy it too. So get you guys a flagpole and a flag, and get those banners out there and really let your nerd flag fly. That's all I got for you today, nerds. I'm going to send you home with a be humble, be helpful, and be honorable. Thanks for watching.